I think you can call this the dog days of summer notary video. I'm Elaine Marshall, a notary public, and very pleased to be the Secretary of State. I am here on the deck at my house, and you can hear the birds and the cicadas. When I come outside, that's one of the things that gives me joy, just hearing Mother Nature. So I'm glad to be with you this morning, and I want to talk to you about a combination of things. You never thought that notary law and poinsettias could come together. Identity and knowing whose signature you are notarizing is absolutely essential to protection of the public. That's drilled into our head from day number one in notary class. It is the constant factor that becomes emphasized in every notary transaction. Identity. But you know what? Identity is important in other areas, and if we think about it, how often do we use identity in our daily lives to determine our conduct? Let me give you an example here, how it's important to me, and now we're going to get to poinsettias. This is July, the end of July, the dog days of summer of July, and here's what I want to show you. You are going to be looking at some photos of still shots taken at my house after Christmas to show the poinsettias that I have been caring for. My mother was a very avid gardener, and I picked up some of her habits. I'm a farmer's daughter, so that means I also have it in my DNA. If we didn't have a good crop, it was going to be a very lean winter. So I've learned to pay careful attention to plants. Now, you're going to not believe that when I show you the first one, but here we are. This is a poinsettia that I purchased for the home about the third week of December. I love to have color at the house, and I know you do too. Here we are in July, and this one doesn't look too good, I know. But looking at the other photos during this year, you can see that it has been pretty good up until the very recent past. But I also am delighted to show you this poinsettia. Folks, this also was bought in December. You can tell that there is something different between the two of them. They both got approximately the same care. These came from Homewood Nursery. Homewood Nursery is partnered with North Carolina State University on field trials for poinsettias. And if you've never been there, go next early December. You will see thousands of gorgeous poinsettias before they go out to places of worship, offices, and then for sale for folks. This year, they probably had about 20 different varieties that they had tested and grown. And the test part in December was which ones were going to be popular with the public. So you had a chance to vote for them. They were given numbers, so I don't know exactly what their names would be. These are two that I bought at that time. They were distinctly different. This one was taller, larger fronds to make a bigger poinsettia. This one was more compact. This one had darker leaves all along. When I was back at that same nursery this spring, I explained to one of the workers there about what good success I had had with one particular strain of poinsettia. And she encouraged me to take a good close-up picture of the leaves, the fronds, the poinsettia, to give to the management to show them which poinsettia had survived like this one. So identity through using the leaf structure was important. For those of us as notaries, identity by using those that are listed in our notary handbook, a driver's license or some other government-issued ID, are very, very important for notaries. And I'm going to show you my tip. It's a stay-at-home hack. I've been tending these while I've been in quarantine. It gives me delight before spring came around to be able to keep something nice and growing. My key to success is this: ice cubes. Poinsettias do not need to have wet feet. You can easily overwater them. That's what happens in homes in December. Houses are too hot in some places, or sometimes there's a vent and a warm air blows over them. So really keep them out of sun and keep them out of heat drafts. I monitor every day and put in a few ice cubes. Whoops, one just got away, but I look and see, do I need 3? Do I need 4? I want the top to dry out just a little bit, and I put in whatever I think is going to be essential. I'm not going to be doing anything with this one right now, so I'm going to put it back down. This one right now as a house plant is hopeless. Yeah, it's hopeless. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get this one to bloom for next year. I'm going to go in here and prune off and leave about 3-4 inches of existing stalk. So here I go. I'm going to put in, this looks really dry right now, so I'm going to put in 4 or 5 ice cubes, and then I evaluate these every day. Last winter, I actually bought 5 poinsettias from Homewood Nursery. Some were for the office, some were for here at the house. After Christmas was over, I took some extras from the house here back down to the office. They looked pretty good. 2 of them were pink, 1 of them was white. As we went into quarantine and stay at home, I wasn't in the office to tend to them. Other staff members who sometimes throw a few ice cubes in if I've been away for a day or two weren't there. And so I brought them home, and I'll show you what I did with them. They're not blooming, but they're absolutely gorgeous at this point. Here at my feet are the 3 poinsettias that I talked about. These 2 darker green, shorter ones are the pinks that I took from my office. This is the taller one with a little bit of yellow to it. This is the white. You can see they make lovely, lush plants. I guess theoretically you could get them to rebloom, having been outside, but I've never had any luck with that. Now, let's go back to our conversation about identity. A lot of people have you're going to see a still shot of this plant when it was in full bloom. A lot of people thought it was a sunflower. The tag when we bought it said coneflower. Now, it looks, my identity tells me that it looks like a tobacco plant. It's got mildew on it. It's not doing too well right now. But over here is the better one. This one we gave up for dead, almost. This one looks a little bit better. I'm trying to develop a coneflower area, echinacea, and that's why we put the coneflowers here to match up with this. Well, last year, this only got about this high. This is now double the height that we had before. So if anybody can identify this plant a little bit better, maybe it isn't even a coneflower. I don't know. You can look at the still. You can look at this. Tell me what to do with it. We'd like to get seeds. The birds like them too. And maybe cultivate some more if we know how to really handle them. But I'm not a short person, and this is as tall as I am. So anybody knows what really Conezilla here really is, if it's a cone for sure. It's just so different from all the rest. So I would appreciate some help. I've enjoyed having this as a novelty, but I'd really like to identify what it really is and identify how to take care of it. Well, notaries, we have an identity problem here. I'm at the back of our very shaded, canopied corner of our yard. Earlier this spring, we did a major effort to clean up some growth that had needed to be tended to. And guess what we came up with? You are looking at it. This is Garden-zilla or something else Zilla. I want you notaries to, it's like a little contest. Tell us what you think this is. Let me give you some perspective. I'm going to go down by it. This is no small thing I'm looking at. Tell us what you think it is, and I'll tell you if you're right in next month's newsletter. If you got a suggestion about what you think we ought to do with it, let me know that. I've suggested that we put it in the front yard, paint it black, give it some googly eyes, have it out there for Halloween. If you got another suggestion, let me know. It's a trophy. It's a keeper. Tell me what you think it is. Can you identify what I'm standing in front of? Happy notary times in these hot dog days of summer.